Hello and welcome back to Microbial Concepts. So in this video we are going to discuss some FAQs on antibiotics. So already I have uploaded 2-3 videos on antibiotics. You can go check it out on my channel. So this one again is related to the basics or the basic knowledge that everyone should have on antibiotics. Okay, let's start. So first is, what is an antibiotic or antibiotic? So there are molecules of biological origin which are used to treat diseases, okay, or infection, bacterial infection. They are antibiotics. So what do you mean by biological origin? So biological origin means they are obtained from some living organism, for example, say fungi or bacteria, and now they are used to treat diseases. So some are inhibitory or lethal against bacteria. That means some of these antibiotics, they will inhibit their growth. They will not kill them. Okay, they will just inhibit their growth. And some are which are lethal against them. That means they will kill that particular bacterial cell which is causing the infection. Okay, and that is how antibiotics are used to treat the bacterial infection, and then we recover from the infection. Now, some are either modified of natural molecules, or some are nowadays they are synthetically made, as we know the structure and the formula. Now, who coined the term antibiotic? So, Salman Abraham Waxman, he is, I guess, a Russian scientist who coined this term. So, who also discovered streptomycin, right? So, do all antibiotics kill bacteria? No, all antibiotics does not kill bacteria. Some are bactericidal. Cidal is the term which denotes it kills, while some are bacteriostatic. Static means it stops the growth. That is what I explained here, inhibitory and lethal. Okay, so this is lethal, that means it kills, and this is inhibitory, that means it stops the growth. So next is, how do antibiotics work? So antibiotics, they work in different ways depending on their specific mechanism of action. So what is mechanism of action? So each and every antibiotic has its own way that it will react with the given bacterial cell. Okay, now some of the antibiotics, they act on the cell wall of the bacteria. Okay, it will act on that cell wall, it will disrupt, okay, or break that cell wall. Then there are some which interfere with the bacterial protein synthesis. Okay, then there are some which interfere with the replication of their genetic material. Okay, so by targeting these specific components or the specific processes of bacteria, antibiotics can kill or inhibit the growth. Now, do antibiotics work against viruses? Very interesting question that everyone should know is, no, antibiotics never work against viruses. We have antifungals for fungal infection. We have antivirals for viral infections. Okay, but still you might have seen that many a times when doctor says that you have a viral infection, still doctor prescribes antibiotics. Now, why? The main reason here is, when we are suffering from a viral infection, our body is fighting towards that infection, and there is a chance that we might get a secondary bacterial infection. Okay, and it might worsen our health. So to avoid that, many a times it happens that uh, doctor or healthcare professionals, they prescribe you a antibiotic. Okay, and that has a broad range. Okay, so don't just think that, oh, he or she has prescribed me this antibiotic, and what if it is not effective against any given illness? Okay, no, they always prescribe a broad range antibiotic. Okay, so remember that antibiotics, they are ineffective against viral infections. They are mainly designed to specifically target bacteria and not the viruses. They should only be used to treat bacterial infections as prescribed by your healthcare professional. Now, when should antibiotics be used? Antibiotics should be used only when they are prescribed by your healthcare professional to treat bacterial infection. Okay, I have seen many people that they have very common symptoms like cold and cough and fever, so they think that yes, I have some bacterial infection and I can take antibiotic which I have at home. So no, you're not a doctor and you don't know everything. So don't just assume and use the leftover antibiotic which you have at your home. That is very, very wrong. So it is important to take antibiotics which are exactly prescribed by your doctor. Why? Because doctor knows what are the seasonal changes going on, what are the infections uh, which are there around, and you must have seen that doctor ask you questions that have you eaten anything outside, have you visited any other places, what went wrong in your routine, okay, what are the symptoms, and from when you have uh, started observing the symptom. Depending on that answers, doctor prescribes you, right? So always have prescribed antibiotics, not just prescribed antibiotics. This rule applies to any medicine that is prescribed by doctor, okay? Then you should complete the full course treatment and ensure that infection is completely eradicated or completely gone. Now, I have also seen people that they just take the first 2 days course, and when they start recovering, they start feeling fresh. They think that, yeah, now my infection is gone and I can stop taking the antibiotic. No, this also leads to antibiotic resistance to your gut microbes. Okay, that means the bacteria which are present in your gut, you are not taking full course, so what happens, they are getting exposed to the little bit of your antibiotics, so your gut microbes, they are getting resistant to your antibiotics. Okay, so always complete the full course treatment, right? Then, can I share antibiotics with others or can I use leftover antibiotics? So, again, the answer is no. You should never share antibiotics with others or use leftover antibiotics. They are prescribed based on specific bacterial infections. So, taking a wrong antibiotic can be ineffective, or an incomplete course of treatment can be ineffective. So, it can lead to antibiotic resistance. Thus, it is very important that you take antibiotics which are prescribed by your doctor on consultation, okay, and you should not share them or use any leftover antibiotics, okay. Then, are antibiotics effective against all type of bacteria? The answer is no, they are not effective against all type of bacteria. So different antibiotics, they have different spectrum of activity. That means uh, a given antibiotic can be effective against, say, this particular given 5 XYZ bacteria. Okay, some are so good that they can be active against 10 to 12 different bacteria. Okay, so that is the spectrum I am talking here. Okay, so different antibiotics have different spectrum of activity, meaning they are effective against specific types of bacteria or groups of bacteria. Okay, so some antibiotics are broad range, that means they can target a wide range of bacteria, while some are narrow spectrum, that means they are effective against a given specific bacteria itself. Okay, now again, a very important question, that is, can I drink alcohol while taking antibiotics? So actually the answer here is tricky because it depends on your infection, your disease, your illness, and it depends on the specific antibiotic that is prescribed. So some antibiotics can inter interact with the alcohol and they can cause adverse effects such as nausea, vomiting, headache, or rapid heartbeat. Okay, and it's generally advisable to avoid alcohol while taking antibiotics. However, it is best to consult your doctor regarding alcohol consumption. Okay, then, can antibiotics have side effects? So yes, antibiotics, they have side effects, okay, but not, it is not the case that each and every person who is taking a same antibiotic will have these side effects. Okay, they are seen in some individuals. So common side effects are diarrhea, nausea, then vomiting, abdominal pain, or allergic reaction like few rashes are seen, etc. Okay, so it is important to discuss any concerns or potential side effects with your doctor before starting antibiotic treatment. Even you must have seen that before prescribing a specific antibiotic, doctor they ask you that do you have any kind of allergy, okay, and then only they prescribe you antibiotics. Now, can overuse of antibiotics lead to antibiotic resistance? So, answer is yes, definitely. Overuse or misuse of antibiotics can contribute to the development of antibiotic resistance. So, when antibiotics are used inappropriately or unnecessarily, bacteria can adapt. Okay, they can survive the low dosage and they become resistant to the drug. Okay, they keep on evolving themselves. So this makes antibiotics less effective. So its importance, so it is important to use antibiotics judiciously and only when necessary to help prevent antibiotic resistance. Now complete the prescribed dose and no overuse or no wastage of drugs should be done. Why wastage? Because when you throw particular expired antibiotics to, say, you drain it through your basin, or when you just throw it in dustbin, over a period of time that particular antibiotic is going to be um exposed in environment, right? And the bacteria which are present in environment, say it is dumped in soil, so the bacteria which are present in soil, they are going to interact with that drug and they might get antibiotic resistance developed. Okay, so that's the reason why never uh, throw your antibiotics. Actually, you should not have that condition only. Okay, you should complete your full course treatment so you will have no leftover expired antibiotics. Now, how can antibiotic resistance be prevented? So here are some points through which antibiotic resistance can be prevented, and now many countries are trying to follow few of these points to reduce the antibiotic resistance. Okay, so first is using antibiotics only when prescribed by healthcare professionals. Then taking antibiotics exactly as prescribed. Okay, you cannot change your course of dosage. Okay, then taking antibiotics exactly as prescribed and completing the full course of treatment. Then throwing leftover antibiotics into dustbin and water can also lead to antibiotic resistance over a period of time. Okay, so if you are practicing such kind of habit, then you should stop it immediately, because you might not suffer from antibiotic resistance but someone else can. Okay, then preventing infections through vaccination and practicing safe hygiene measures is also important. Then avoiding the use of antibiotics in animal feed for growth promotion. This is also a very important point, because nowadays rules are being made that, or even humans are now educated that, for example, chickens are um injected with antibiotics to reduce their bacterial infections and for their growth promotion, and this also have adverse effect on human health. So yes, now humans are aware of such kind of practices and they are avoiding um, chicken that is uh, grown by using antibiotics, because there are antibiotic residues left and that might harm us. Okay, so I hope now you are aware about antibiotics, how to use them, when to use them, right? So I am assuming that this topic is clear to you now. So if you like my video, do give a thumbs up, do share these videos with your friends, and do subscribe to my channel for more such interesting videos.